Governor, welcome back to the show. First up, I understand you were in town yesterday to talk with the Veterans Affairs Secretary, and that was the first visit ever by a VA Secretary to South Texas, our congressional delegation down here. Now, Tim and I were talking off air about this just a little bit. We seem to remember an echo out of the last legislative session where lawmakers approved some type of state-provided care for veterans in Texas, or the approval of some state facility, or maybe the state was going to help in creating some type of VA-style facility for veterans. Can you refresh our memory on what the state's role in providing care to veterans might be in the near future?
Well, the state of Texas is trying to edge its way into assisting veterans with their health care needs. This, of course, as you know, is a federal responsibility. The federal
so is border security, but you just wrote a check for $800 million on that, too. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's the Texas way, and that is we are sick and tired of the federal government not living up to its responsibility to take care of our veterans, just like they have not taken care of our border. Here's what I've done, and that is I've called out President Obama, because President Obama, when he was on the campaign stump, went down into the Rio Grande Valley and looked people in the eye and told them that when he was president, he would build a VA hospital in the Rio Grande Valley. And since then, he has failed to do so, and the wait times have increased. The health care needs of the veterans in the valley have increased. And then the report came out that there have been maybe upwards of 300,000 of our veterans who have died on a wait list. And the wait list to get care and treatment in the Rio Grande Valley is higher than it may be any other place in America. So with that backdrop, the first and foremost thing that I've done is I've written to the president. I've called for action in the Veterans Administration. I've talked to the Texas congressional delegation about taking action that is needed to expand health care for our veterans. But we haven't stopped at that, because what we did was in the Texas legislature was a couple of things. One is we have a specialized task force that we operate to accelerate connecting our veterans with the health care needs that they so desperately need access to. And then the second thing is we provided additional funding for PTSD based issues. So Texas is stepping in to fill the void that the VA has created. But the main thing that I wanted to do yesterday was to continue to put pressure on the Obama administration to fulfill the promise they made in the first place, and that was to improve access to health care for veterans in the Valley.
Our Governor Greg Abbott joining us on 710 KURV was in town yesterday with the Veterans Affairs Secretary and our congressional delegation from South Texas talking about VA services. Was there anything actionable on the federal side from the VA Secretary or the congressman? What did you hear? What did you see from them? That is the follow-up, and when do we hear next from them?
The Congress and the congressional delegation from Texas, I think, stands strongly in support of expanding the healthcare facilities for the veterans in South Texas. The main takeaways I got from it, from hearing the secretary, as well as what their thought process is, first and foremost, they are going to strive to improve the response times and shorten the wait times and provide better customer service. And we had a roundtable with veterans, and one of the large complaints by veterans is the poor way in which they are treated when they do get in to see a doctor or a medical facility. And so, for starters, they will improve the way that they treat our veterans when they go to the healthcare facilities. For another, they will shorten the work times. But the bigger overarching goal that we are working on, and that they are focused on yesterday, and we will continue to push going forward, is to increase the medical facilities to which the veterans have access, and so that they will no longer be stuck on these wait lists.
Okay, Governor Greg Abbott joining us on 710 KURV.
Yeah, Governor Tim Sullivan here, and there has been a lot of expansion of veterans health care in the Rio Grande Valley. You got a chance to see some of that yesterday. And the VA Secretary seem to indicate that that is going to be the continuing focus rather than building a brand new full-fledged hospital, which he believes would not be a good expenditure of federal funds. Um, do you still support a VA hospital in the Valley, that type of expenditure, rather than expanding, what we already have?
What needs to be done is to eliminate the wait times and get our veterans into healthcare facilities as quickly as possible. If the best pathway that can get that done is by expanding existing facilities so that there's both inpatient care as well as emergency critical care that is provided to them, then that goes a long way toward doing it. The bottom line is they, being the federal government and the Veterans Administration, must find ways to expand that health care, eliminate the wait times, and take care of our veterans, the ones who put their lives on the line for this country.
And there was mention yesterday of the Secretary himself mentioned a partnership between the VA and the new UTRGV Medical School. There was mention of an entire wing possibly being dedicated to inpatient veterans care. Is that a workable solution?
Yeah. Things like that would be workable solutions if they can achieve these goals in a way that, frankly, doesn't add to cost by having to break ground on a new building, but provides the square footage space, the needed space, the rooms, the facilities, the doctors, the nurses, the equipment, et cetera, then it will mean that our veterans are being taken care of. So if you would, that would be a positive takeaway from what happened yesterday. Now we need to see the commitment and backbone and the money to provide for that expansion to make sure that our veterans who fought for us get the care they deserve.
Governor Greg Abbott joining us on 710 KURV. Last week, this time, you were in Mexico City talking with Enrique Peña Nieto and leadership there, talking about transportation and economic issues and security. What's the follow-up issue? And by the way, has Enrique Peña Nieto taken you up on the invitation to visit Texas?
Yes, he will be visiting with me in Texas. We are working on the date. It likely will be in the early part of next year. And we're looking forward to that, and that will be an opportunity for us to follow up on the main issues that we focused on when we were in Mexico. As the people in the Rio Grande Valley know, one of the main issues that's taken place is the expansion of their energy fields. Historically, energy in Mexico has been run by a government monopoly, Pemex. Now they are opening that up. Many Texas companies are participating. Some Texas companies are already shipping natural gas to Mexico. Other Texas companies are bidding on these different rounds of projects that are being opened up in Mexico that will allow us to take our new technology and tools to aid Mexico in expanding and tapping into their natural gas and their oil. And then there are bids for offshore oil and gas exploration. Altogether, this is going to be something that will be great for Texas companies and Texas jobs, as well as elevating the Mexican economy.
Yeah, there's a wave of economic opportunity that is descending on us. Part of it because, as you said, some of the constitutional reforms in Mexico, but then the hard work on the ground by, for example, the economic development kids over at Brownsville. Got the potential for heavy manufacturing, the liquefied natural gas export down here. Is anything that the state office, your office, can do to help them out and say, hey, we got your back. Come over here to the cookie jar. Let's get this thing done.
That's exactly what we were doing down there, and that is to help out these Texas-based companies. We had a large number of economic development corporations from around the state of Texas who were on this trip with us. But one thing in particular on this trip, but even beyond this trip, that I've talked about in my office with people who've been coming in from around the globe is what can be done to purchase goods and services from Texas, especially from the Brownsville area, with a key focus being on these natural gas export facilities. And when you look at the port facilities we have in Texas, ranging from Brownsville to Corpus Christi to Freeport to Houston to Beaumont, you can see the entire rim of the state of Texas and the future possibilities of the great number of jobs to be increased, as well as the great number amount of revenue
Okay.
that will be increased in the state of Texas by what we are doing. And I got to tell you, it is a very exciting time.
And before we let you go, we know you have a meeting that's taking place tomorrow. You'd like to invite folks to come out to McAllen and come and see you at a chicken place. You want to tell folks about that?
Sure, I'm going to be at the Cowboy Chicken.
Yeehaw!
This is there you go. This is going to be my second trip in 1 week to the RGV, and I'm really looking forward to it. The first trip was focused on the VA and working with the Veterans Administration Secretary. This is going to be more pure political, where we are talking about the things that we have accomplished for the Rio Grande Valley in the legislative session, the way that Texas is even better now than it's ever been before. And so it's going to be a great opportunity for me to reconnect with the incredible people of the RGV.
Cowboy Chicken tomorrow at around noontime, right? What, 1 o'clock, something like that, right?
1 o'clock.
Okay. Do they serve burgers there at Cowboy Chicken?
Say it again now?
Do they serve burgers there, cheeseburgers at Cowboy Chicken?
Well, I don't have the menu in front of me.
Governor, thank you for putting up with us. Governor Greg Abbott joining us on 710 KURV.